Hey guys, I'm Conan, and today I'm going to be doing Draw My Life, which was a lot larger of an endeavor than I really thought it would be. But I thought that since we reached 100,000 subscribers, which is insane, I don't really know what to say, that I would try to tell you guys my entire life story in a video. It was really hard, but I guess let's get started. I've been waiting to tell the world my story because I always thought that it would be too different from what people expected. Despite what many may believe, my life has been quite a ride. Good or bad, I guess that's for you to decide. I like to think of my life in pieces because it's been picked up and moved and rearranged so many times that you can barely even tell that it's been lived in the same lifetime. My life has just been lived in eras or clips, and once one movie would end, another would start completely new. This is about to be very long and very complicated. So let's start with the first. Lemon Grove. Despite the pleasant name, it was not a pleasant town, but I was an unknowing kid, so I loved it. I thought it was great. My family consisted of my dad, who is Irish, my mom, who's Japanese, and my sister. When my sister turned 3, my mother became pregnant with me. Shortly after becoming pregnant, my mom was diagnosed with an early form of cancer. All the doctors told my mom to abort me, but she never took that into consideration. She knew that she would keep me, and she knew that she had to live. By some miracle, the cancer went away, and I was born December 5th, 1998. It was a really magical time of my life. My dad was in the military. My mom was taking care of my sister and I, and she was going to college at the same time. I have really fond memories of this time because it was just my whole family having fun in our tiny house. We didn't really have any money, but the house had white picket fencing and kumquats in the backyard. They're bougainvillea, growing all along the fence, and there was a giant tree that my grandfather planted in the front. It was just such a carefree time of my life, and although it was short-lived, I really did love it. My mother says that I was the happiest baby in the world. I didn't like to sleep. I would just stay up and quietly wait for my mom to come into the room. Every single morning, I would be jumping and dancing and singing to get out of my crib. My mom says that I've always been singing my entire life. When I was about 1.5 years old, my grandfather on my mom's side was diagnosed with cancer. So me and my little family packed up our bags and moved to Hiroshima, Japan, just to be able to take care of him and be with him as he passed. From ages 1 to 3.5, I was raised in Japan, speaking Japanese and just being completely Japanese. We moved back to California shortly after my grandfather passed away. My sister and I were very unaware of any problems that had arisen, and we were simply kids just being weird and doing funny things that kids do. Something about me and my sister's relationship, we were exceptionally weird kids. Once I shoved a banana into the VCR machine. I used to eat dust, and my sister convinced me that she was magical for 2 entire years. Then, on a normal day, while my sister and I were watching PBS Kids, my mom ran out of her bedroom and just whisked us away. Our lives would forever be different from that day forward. My parents got divorced. At the time, it was detrimental to me, but I know now that it was definitely for the better. Thus began our very sporadic journey through life. After the divorce, my sister and I were split between 2 homes. My dad kept the house, and my mom got a tiny 1-bedroom apartment where all 3 of us would sleep in one queen-sized bed. Though conditions may have seemed subpar, she always found a way to make every single day bright, even the bad days. We would make pancakes, play games, go on road trips, go swimming at the beach. She just always found a way to make us feel loved and normal. Meanwhile, my dad was working hard on his pool business, which was growing really quickly and doing dramatically well. So well, in fact, that we moved into a bigger house just down the street. One day after kindergarten, I got into my dad's new Mustang. Remember, the pool business was doing really well, and we drove into our slightly larger house. Upon opening the door, I was attacked with a hug by a stranger. Once the attacker let me down, I looked up to a face that I'd never seen before. Later that day, I found out that that face would become very familiar because my dad informed me that he was going to marry her. Therefore, she would be my stepmom. My sister and I were a little bit skeptical about having a stepmother, but she gave us candy and presents, so we were like, this is gonna be perfect, life is great, this is gonna be fantastic. Also, we were slightly skeptical because we were gonna be getting a new brother, because she had a son from previous marriage. But we saw videos of him playing with Legos, and we just kind of were excited to have another person to play with in the house. My dad and my soon-to-be stepmom from Korea got married in Vegas, and things were very, very happy for a while. Back to my mother. To shorten it, we moved a lot, which for me and my sister meant a lot of making friends, losing friends, packing stuff, but As I said before, my mom always found a way to make things feel homey and safe. Because I moved so much, home never really meant a house to me. My home resided in the people who loved me, not the places that held me. It was a really hard time for my single mother trying to build up a business by herself and trying to raise my sister and I, but eventually we all found solace in church, and so many people welcomed us into their lives. My mom began to bring my sister and I, slightly traumatized by the unstable life we were living, to a program called Confident Kids. It was an organization that let kids who were living crazy lives understand that they weren't alone. It helped a lot, as sick as it seems, knowing that the boy next to me had a father in jail and that the girl next to me has been living with crazy parents her entire life. Confident Kids still exists now, and I would just like to take a moment to thank all the people there who really helped out our small family so much. My mom was struggling, but we were doing actually very, very well for ourselves, just the three of us. After moving to about 1 billion apartments, we moved into this beautiful, big, bright house. I remember I loved how high the ceilings were and just how happy the house always felt. I met incredible friends there, someone that you've actually met before, a girl named Summer and her family, and my mother began to even date again. After a few years of living in the big house, just the three of us, my mom met a super nice guy in Texas. He was amazing, and he had 2 kids that we loved so much. And so, like kids do whenever they want something, we begged my mom to marry him, and she did. He became my stepdad, and then I got to have a stepbrother and a stepsister. Now back to my dad. My dad was pretty wealthy for a brief moment in time. In that moment, we welcomed a new member to my dad's family, which would be my half-brother. He is super cute, and I loved him so, so much. We moved into a new neighborhood out of Lemon Grove, where all of the houses were in the millions, and everybody was super pleasant. I was in 1st grade. Our new house had a big pool, a deck, we had way too many cars, and we each got our own room. We were only ever clothed in polo, which I quite opposed because I really like t-shirts, and the school system was extremely vigorous for being an elementary school. One Christmas, we all got computers, and that's when I first discovered YouTube. I fell in love with the community and the way we all just got to peer into the lives of so many people, and they were just normal people too. I knew that I wanted to start a channel, so I did. I started my very first YouTube channel, and I just posted like tons of videos of me doing basically nothing. Like, I would post videos of me playing with my pet geckos and stuff like that. I was in 4th grade. Yep, I've been doing videos since 4th grade. My dad lived this never look at price tags lifestyle for 2 years. It was fun, I guess. My dad worked really hard to support our family of 6. I really liked going to work with my dad because I got to, meet so many people and mess with rich people stuff and spend time with him. But money always has a tendency to destroy people and destroy families, and eventually, once we had a lack of money, our lives became not so pleasant. Things went south, literally. This time marks the fall of a almost perfect facade. I won't tell you all the stories and reasons behind what happened in this time of my life, to just respect that the people involved want to forget the times just as much as I do. They have new lives now, and I'll give them their peace. To summarize the fall, here's just some events that occurred. Debt, foreclosure, angry rich people, angry poor people, eviction, running from the cops, child protective services, and a lot of yelling. While all of this was going on, I had to have a coping mechanism. I stayed in my room a lot because when I went downstairs, I usually ended up fighting with people, and so I just stayed in my room and filled all my time with drawing and singing and just doing anything I could to fill the time. It was in this bad 4-year period that I practiced all the time because I had so much time. I would draw anything I could. I would sing the labels of shampoo bottles while I was taking showers, and I would steal Play-Doh from my little brother and just sculpt things. I hid away in my room and made lots of art. Then we literally went south. Me, my sister, and my divorced parents separately moved to Texas. We left my stepmom, stepbrother, and half-brother behind in California. So I guess a little more southeast, but still kind of south. My dad got divorced from my stepmom shortly after we moved to Texas. My mother, me, and my sister all moved into a pretty house with lots of space to run around with my new stepbrother, stepdad, and stepsister. My dad moved into a tiny house that we'd never seen before, and we had no idea where we were going. It ended up being a tiny, kind of gross stoplight town amply named Rockdale. It was hard to leave my best friends in California. There was Amelia, who'd been my best friend since the first day of 1st grade, when she saw me and thought that I was wearing glasses and felt bad for me, and so she tapped my shoulder, and then we decided to become best friends somehow. She was my rock ever since. Then there was Summer and her incredible family who basically adopted me. I was even on their Christmas card one year. My friends loved me so much. I just couldn't explain how much they did. I was in 6th grade. I switched middle schools 3 times in 6th grade until finding the right one next to my mom's house, and I stayed there all of middle school and now high school. Throughout my silly life, I was always blessed with the best friends I could ever ask for. I met my current best friend, Gus, in 7th grade. We had last names with close first letters, so we were always seated next to each other. We liked each other's doodles, therefore we became best friends. Middle school was really sucky, and middle school sucks for everyone. I was bullied a ton, but by 8th grade I learned to stick up for myself, and I just had so many incredible friends that defended for me, and they were just so loving. You all know who you are, you beautiful humans. Thank you so much. Without them, I truly don't believe that I would be alive. In 6th grade, I also made my second YouTube channel, which many of you guys probably still remember, which is insane. One fateful, boring Thanksgiving day, I pulled out my webcam and recorded myself talking about these little tiny things that I made out of clay. The rest is history. I never made videos for money, because I didn't even know that you could make videos for money. I never even made videos for fame. I just really loved the process. I loved coming up with the idea, bringing the idea to life, editing, posting, and seeing the responses. It was just everything about it I loved so much. I worked really hard on it through all of middle school, and eventually people just began to find me. I don't really know how. The surprise of attention kind of swept me off my feet, and I didn't really know what was going on. I had this strange new friend that I never really expected to have, which is you guys, throughout all of middle school. All of my weekends were spent working on videos, and I gave up a lot of time that I could have been spending with my friends through middle school, which is a little sad to me, but at the time, I knew it was worth it. My channel grew a lot, and by the time I was in 8th grade, I had reached 10,000 subscribers, but still, nobody in my middle school knew that I made videos. The only problem was that I just moved on from that phase of my life, and I wanted to be able to be free to make whatever kind of video that I wanted. So I made a new channel beginning of freshman year called Conan X Canon. I was free to make whatever I wanted to, so I did. Being in high school and trying to make videos was a challenge, but I had such incredible friends that throughout the week of school I often forgot that I even made videos at all. I went to every single function and I made so many friends, and I pulled a lot of friends closer than ever. My friends became my everything. They knew how scarred I was, but they could still love me despite all of my flaws and despite how hard it could be to be my friend at certain times. Throughout all the new troubles that arose during my high school years, they were always only inches away, ready to keep me from falling. I'm not a miraculous human by myself, but with them I'm able to stay standing, and I'm able to do all the things that I never ever thought that I would be able to do. To my friends, thank you so much. You don't know how important you are to me. I spent absolutely every single weekend working on videos, staying up until 3 a.m. to finish uploads and spending 5 hours editing. I loved making videos, but as my numbers grew, it just became a lot of pressure to succeed and give people what they wanted. The support of you guys and your love and acceptance when I made videos that I was truly proud of and truly loved is what kept me going. It kept me inspired and reminded me why I worked so hard and why I started making videos in the first place. My dad got married again and had another child, but it didn't really affect my life that much because the past 2 years I've stopped living with him. I live with my mom full-time now, where the house is more stable and I have the most incredibly loving friends in the world. My father created a new life, and I have a new life as well. I wish him the best. I don't know if you could tell, but junior year I really stepped away from YouTube. I wanted to really do well in school and just take it all in. I also wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing YouTube out of obligation, but out of passion for what I was doing. This year I only made videos when I truly felt like I wanted to make videos. This family of ours grew so quickly that it was kind of a shock. I'm so grateful for all the love and for all the support that I've been given throughout all the years of this journey. Reaching 100,000 subscribers is something that I never really thought would be part of my life. Because of you, I was able to be so much more than I thought I could be, and I was able to do so much more than I ever thought that I could do. I never expected to have so many people to talk to and so many people to love, I never expected to be loved by so many people, and I want to make sure that I don't waste this blessing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you taught me. To work hard, be grateful, be passionate, never compromise, and to make the most out of every single situation you were given. I love you guys so much, and the fact that I can sit here on my bed in a safe house with a roof, with great friends who love me despite all of my flaws, and you guys, such an amazing group of people who love and support me, is a success story in itself, not just reaching 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week. God bless and goodbye.